Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music blessing and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Almost 5 years of Torah every single day, of finding each other, of knowing we'll be there for each other. Bensi and Marnie, Jill and Lena. Hi, Lena. It's good to see you. Adele and Susie, Penny, Grace, Rosa, it's good to see all of you. I hope that you and yours are safe and well. There's a lot to talk about today. Some of it's happy-ish, some of it's pretty sad. That's where we find ourselves. And Torah, friends, Torah, holds us safe, but we hold us strong. All of that is true. And thank God we have shown up for almost a year of every single day, knowing that for 1,244 broadcasts, yes, Penny, I saw you, we have been here together, that for 502 consecutive days of war, we have not given up on our people. In fact, we have strengthened our people with our work, with our learning, with our care, with our love. It's good to see all of you. Shush and Amy, Michelle and Kate. See who I've missed here on Facebook. Lydia and Ellen, Joyce and Arlene, Judy, Julianne, Barry and Debbie, Arlene and Siona. I'm going to say everybody's name because today's a day where it's just good to say everybody's name. Deborah and Amy, Marcia and Jerry, Julie, Corinne, Barbara and Peter, Cecile and Adrian, Ron and Susan. I'll do a few more because it feels so good. Deborah and Jack, good morning. Helen, Chana. Chana, thanks for standing in Jerusalem and bringing us with you. Really glad that you're there. Really glad we're there with you. Arlene and Deborah. Yes, we're holding Shari in our hearts as she has surgery today, sending her blessings for healing and the surgeon's grace. Linda and Natalie, Patricia, good morning. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you too. All right, just a few more. Deborah and Catherine, Sunday and Linda, good morning. Hi, Anna. Okay. Hi, Janice. Let's take a breath, friends. Really glad you're here. Let's sing a bracha. Let's learn some Torah. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. So hi everybody, glad you're here. It is broadcast 1244. It is day 502 of war. And this week, tomorrow, we will be given the opportunity that we have fought hard for, to treat our loved ones who were killed with dignity, to treat them with dignity, bury them home. And while we have to be respectful of the desires on the part of all of the families, of all of the hostages, we know that the list of the living hostages that will be relieved on Shabbat includes 6. It was going to be 3, and now it's 6. And we know who's not on the list. And I'm imagining I'm not the only one who has been riveted and grief-stricken yet again. There's no comparing pain to pain, so I won't try to do that. But I'm looking at my children and my wife. And I can't imagine what my brothers and sisters are feeling and going through. And so, out of respect for them, that is as direct as I will be about this moment. If and when there is clarity and we have permission, because consent matters here too. I'll say more. On the list of the living are 2 of these beloved faces that I've been staring at every day. I hold up Omer Shem Tov and Elia Cohen frequently. I pray for their families, and I pray for them. They should be released, and that healing can begin. On the list of the living was not found a dead Lifshitz, my friend Daniel's grandfather. Here. With the death of Shlomo Mansour that was confirmed, Oded was the oldest hostage. He was taken hostage when he was 83. And I don't really know what to do on this broadcast right now. I've been thinking a lot about how to be authentic in this moment, and I think that's just what I'm doing. And so there are other things in the world that we point to. I am, overjoyed is not the right word. I want those 6 beloveds in our arms again. And I want those 4 not to have been killed. And that's where we are. I'll connect it a little bit to the Parsha, but living a sacred Jewish life, being a student of Torah, being a religious leader, means that we are called to show up as human beings. We are not called to deny the emotionality of the moment, nor to hide our own feelings. There are sections in the Torah where that becomes complicated. When Aaron's sons Nadav and Avihu are devoured by a fire for offering a strange fire themselves, they don't share their emotions. And one of the reads of the Parsha there, it's Parshat Shmini in the book of Vayikra, is that a religious leader has to be boundaried about how they share their emotions. And I respect that teaching. It is important to be balanced when you are standing in front of community. And that's not only true about religious leaders. We each have to balance that sometimes. But there really isn't balance right now. We can be thoughtful. We can be careful about the information and disinformation we encounter. There's a lot of that. We can be gentle with each other, and I know that there are places where that hasn't been the case. So we have to be gentle with each other. We certainly have to be gentle with ourselves. But this is really hard. These are really, really hard times. They have been hard for 502 days. Hard in a way that defies words. And in the scope of Jewish history, they stand out as really hard. We're going through something that will be written about forever. We are the witnesses, which is different than we are on the ground, or God forbid, under it in tunnels. And Shari, I'm with you. I pray in the most Joan Didion of ways I can pray. For those who don't know, she wrote a book called My Year of Magical Thinking, because her losses were too much to believe were true. So I pray that Hamas is lying. But I'm fairly sure that they're not about this one. They are murderers. They are not trustworthy. I don't base any information on what a terrorist throws at my family. But I think this grief is real. So how do we deal with the unfathomable? This week's Parsha is a fascinating... Shari, you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Been thinking about you. Good luck today. Sending you lots of strength. In this week's Parsha, Parshat Mishpatim, Moses, Aaron, and interestingly Nadav and Avihu, the characters I just spoke about, who are Aaron's sons, and the 70 elders of Israel ascend. If you'd like to look this up sometime, it's Exodus chapter 24, verses 9 through 11. That's what I'm about to read. Let me do the Hebrew so we can feel the gift of its cadence. And then I'll offer a translation and a thought. And before I even do that, let me offer my gratitude. We have been a living, interactive community for 1,244 consecutive weekdays, with only one interruption, if you remember. For those of us who are here, the one day that we missed the broadcast in the last almost 5 years was the day of my grandmother's funeral. And the kind of comfort that I received as part of our community means that we're a real place, and I know that I'm not alone in having received comfort from others. I've watched as we reach out to each other. So before I read from this Parsha, let me emphasize how important it is, friends, for you to reach out to each other. Reach out to someone who you haven't spoken to a while. Reach out to your family. Reach out to your friends. There are images that will be emblazoned in our eyes and feelings that threaten to scar our hearts. So, what I would ask you to do, friends, is place good things in your hearts too. Reach out and make sure that you see beauty. As I say this, I'm looking out my own window, and I am deciding to notice that the sky is blue, and that the snow, as it melts and freezes, is beautiful, and that someone cared enough to clean the streets, and that I have a neighbor. I'm glad he's there. I hear stirring above me in the bedroom above, and I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. So let's not leave that behind either, friends. There is meaning. There is life. There is love. There is hope. Even now. Especially now. And so if you can be that for someone else, this is the day. And so will tomorrow be. Here's from the Parsha. Again, Exodus 24, verses 9 through 11. Vayal Moshe ve'Aharon Nadav ve'Avihu v'shivim miziknei Yisrael. Now Moses and Aaron, Nadav and Avihu, and the 70 of elders of Israel ascended Mount Sinai. Vayir'u et Elohei Yisrael v'tachat raglav k'ma'aseh livnat hasapir u'che'etzem hashamayim latohar. And they saw the God of Israel, under whose feet was the likeness of a pavement of sapphire, like the very sky for purity. They saw God's feet above a sapphire blue sky. I know that's as magical thinking as it gets, but I'm going to do one more verse. And interestingly enough, the important part is not them seeing God's feet. Vel atzilei b'nei Yisrael lo shalach yado, vayechezu et ha'elohim, vayochlu v'yishtu. Yet God did not raise a hand against the leaders of the Israelites. They saw God, they ate and drank. They witnessed the unfathomable. They endured and encountered something that simply could not be. And they ate and they drank. I'm going to say that again, let it in. They encountered something that just could not be. In their case, it was the overwhelming presence of God. In our moment, it is the unfathomable cruelty of other human beings at our family. It is unfathomable. It is wrong. It's unfair. And we must eat and drink and live and love. I think about survivors of the Shoah who made babies in displaced people's camps. I think about the rabbis who reinvented Judaism after a massacre of Jews in ancient Israel and after the temple was burned. I imagine Jews in Baghdad after the Farhud, which is a massacre of Iraqi Jews that happened in the 20th century. I imagine the Jews of Kishinev after the massive pogrom in the early 1900s. I imagine Jews in Spain, Jews in hiding during the Inquisition, or who were expelled and restarted a mystical tradition in the north of Israel, Tzfat. All of this is both grand in scale and unfathomable in courage. But they all begin with a commitment to life. And maybe I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to anybody else. But today we will eat and we will drink in the face of the unfathomable. We will dedicate ourselves, as UJA sets the model, to build and rebuild our world faster than anyone can tear it down. It all begins with eating and drinking. So, before we do anything else, friends, take a second and decide right now, what is one life-affirming act you are going to do today? I don't want to let you off the hook. I want to say it again. I don't want to let me off the hook. So I'm going to say it again. What is one life-affirming thing you can do today, especially today? If that is making yourself something good to eat, do that. If that's taking a walk today, do that. If that's calling someone you love, do that today. If that's thanking someone, holding the door for someone, giving tzedakah, learning more Torah, finding a way to volunteer in Israel, buying a ticket to get on a plane and go to Israel now. if that's being cautious about the news you let in, if that's, as Catherine is saying, planting a baby tree, either in Australia where she is or wherever you are, do something lifeful today. In the face of the unfathomable, it is important to eat and to drink. So, in that spirit, l'chaim, my friends. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'akol niyeh bidvaro. They beheld God and they ate and drank. Okay. Send your hearts to the east with me, friends. Send extra comfort today, extra strength, extra love, extra hope. Sing with more spirit than you did yesterday. Am Yisrael Chai, friends. Kolon valevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulfatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends. Thanks for today.